As you know, pumpkin season is among us and everybody is ready to get out their pumpkin everything. So we are going to be making some pumpkin soap today. I'm only going to be using 3 oils. I chose oils that were easily and readily available to most people for this recipe, so you guys can use it. We're also using pumpkin puree. You can also substitute any kind of squash or actual pumpkin if you have it. Just make sure that if you do get a pumpkin puree, the only ingredient on the list is pumpkin. We do not want any other fillers because they may react funky in the soap. You can just get a lot of problems. So just make sure whatever you're doing, whether you're going to use your own, like I said, squash, make sure you just take the seeds out, and we're only going to use the pumpkin. Anyway, I will be sharing the full recipe with you, the ingredients, how much I use for everything, and talk about pumpkin in general, the benefits of why we might use it in the soap as we go along. So the first thing I did was I weighed out a portion of this for just the pumpkin part, and I wanted it to be just the puree. The first time that I measured this, I measured way too much pumpkin, so I kind of reduced it a little bit and then added in some more water. So anytime you're using a puree in a soap recipe, basically what you're doing is the water portion of your recipe you are replacing with the puree. So if you want to take an ounce away from the water, you're going to put an ounce of puree in it. The rule of thumb is to not go over about 2/3 of your water. It does become hard to mix in. You can also add the puree in last, and that's probably what I should have done for this particular recipe because it was, as I was mixing the lye, heating up quite a bit. But everything turned out okay in the end, and it really wasn't a big deal. So as you can see, the difference between the first time that I made the puree water lye ratio and the second time, the consistencies are quite different. So like I said, I just used a little bit less. You can customize this to whatever meets your needs. And I want you guys to go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite thing about pumpkin is. Do you have a favorite recipe that you eat? It doesn't have to be soap related or, Bath and Body related. Definitely food is a big item. People have drinks they love. Just let me know. I'm curious what draws you all into the fall feeling of pumpkin spice. Me personally, pumpkin is not my favorite. There are a few things that I will eat with pumpkin, but I digress. Let's get back to the soap making. So like I said, we're going to be using avocado oil, olive oil, and coconut oil for our other oils, and we will just be using the lye and the water and the pumpkin puree, so there's nothing else. Let's talk about pumpkin and why we might use it in a soap. Pumpkin provides a gentle exfoliation from the natural enzymes and hydrates your skin. It also has vitamins, oils for antioxidant production. Vitamins A, C also help with signs of aging and promote a smoother, more radiant complexion. So I would recommend, even if you didn't want to use this just for a holiday theme, maybe making a facial bar out of the pumpkin out of the pumpkin puree, because I think it was going to have a lot of nice properties for your skin. Pumpkin contains natural enzymes, like I was saying. They will help gently kind of get rid of some of the dead skins and reveal a brighter, smoother, more radiant skin. It's also very hydrating, and it helps nourish the skin, prevents dryness, and keeping it soft. So the only other time that I have made a pumpkin soap was the second time that I made soap, and I do want to warn you guys, be careful what type of fragrance oil you use or what kind of essential oils you use for pumpkin spice, because one thing I did not know as a new soap maker is that spice and cold processed soap specifically will cause acceleration. So anything that is very spicy fragrance causes acceleration. I had no idea what that meant because this was back in the day before they had YouTube, and a lot of people, there was people on YouTube making soap, but it wasn't as known. And also, most of the recipes I got were from books. I didn't understand how to formulate them. I didn't understand a lot of things that could go wrong. But the very first time I did it, I put that fragrance oil in, and the whole pot heated so hot, It almost caught on fire. I'm not even joking. It was like way over 200 degrees. Luckily the oil that I had, the fragrance oil, had a very high flash point, so it did not cause a fire. But I had to scoop it out of the container that I was mixing it so fast and just kind of shove it in the um, loaf mold that I had and just hope that it didn't explode everywhere. I didn't really know if it was going to turn out, and when I cut it, it had a very rustic look because the soap just had all these like weird pockets, air pockets in it, from not being able to get into the mold fast enough. But the soap turned out beautifully because I did mix all the oils really good before I added the fragrance oil. So let me know if you've had any disasters like that as well when you've made soap. Sometimes they're just fun to share. The fragrance oil that I used was from Brambleberry. I will highly recommend this fragrance oil. It behaved perfectly in my soap. I did not have any issues. The smell was actually really good. If you're not a huge fan of the spicy pumpkin spice, this one's for you. I would say there was definitely the sweet, like kind of pumpkin notes that you get, but the pumpkin was also very like smooth because we have sandalwood in it. So it is very just earthy, and it's a better fragrance oil, I think, than the first time that I tried to do this. These are the colorants that I used. They're very old. I'll show you what I had on hand. Micos don't go bad or anything like that, so I'm just using up what I have. I don't want to order any new stuff for soap making. So I just chose 3 colors that were kind of fall theme, and you know, for the design, my designs are always pretty basic. I'm not very crazy with them, so I just try to keep it simple. I thought I would do a little bit of gold inside there as well. I just had the idea while I was waiting for my lye water to cool down to add the gold and give it a little extra pop, but I tried to mix the gold in a little bit in the batter because the last time I did this with a different recipe, the gold, when I added just the oil, I didn't add it into the batter, it kind of separated the soap a little bit and it broke in certain spots, so that's why I tried to mix it a little bit. However, you know, you want to do it is fine. So let me know, what are your thoughts on pumpkin spice? What did you like about it? Go ahead and give the video a like if you learned something new today, or if this video is helpful to you in your soap journey. I will see you next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.